Yao and Professor Ming Di Li and Professor Huang Yuebo. I'm sorry if I pronounce wrongly. Thank you for coming, and then as your willingness to be a committee members of my oral events, and also thank you for Professor Victoria Rowe to choose this opportunity to be a course filter. Thank you for coming, and all colleagues, thank you, and also countrymen, thank you for coming and support me. Okay. uh, my thesis is about a case study on remedial teaching and after-school program in Taiwan. There are some reasons why I chose this topic. The first one is I want to explore Taiwan education system, particularly in after-school program. And then in the future, I want to implement my findings in Indonesia. That's one of the reason. Because I used to join a community-based after-school program in my country, and it doesn't really work well. So that's the reason why I want to explore. I want to investigate the implication of remedial teaching after-school program in Taiwan. And the other reason is this study is more doable and feasible in terms of time constraint and also budget. So yeah, I try to do my best to face this kind of limitation. Okay, and as shown in these pictures, fortunately, it's a good chance for me to balance between practical and theory. So I used to join an internship program in Yonglin Hope School for 6 months. So it's a chance for me to have a theory and also balance the theory and practical in Yonglin Hope School. And I would like to say thank you for this moment. So I have experience and go directly to the field of implication of remedial teaching. Okay, and yeah, this is one of my background why I also doing this study, because I'm interested in social justice, especially in educational justice. Because as we know, especially developed country, they try to have a big effort to, in terms of educational equity, educational justice. Uh, as America, they have, I think they have NCLA, no child left behind, and also recently they have Obama administration, they have common core standards, and also race to the top. And there's some policy in US as a developed country. And in Taiwan, what I read in literature review, they have education priority area, which focus on indigenous people, Aboriginal Taiwanese, and for low income family. At the same time, in Indonesia, we have the same policy, but it's focused on teacher distribution to rural area, to remote areas in terms of educational equity. But it's a different type. But what I want to say is now is word they try to they try to have educational equity. It's a little bit complicated between equality and equity, but what I found in my study, they focus on educational equity. So giving individual support to those students who in needs for low income or low achievement. So what I found in my study is especially in my study, Yonglin Hope School, they focus on educational equity. So this is one of my reason, the background I used to do this study in terms of educational justice. And yeah, and I have three main goals on doing my study. The first one is I'm doing investigation, and then by having those information in hand, I want to do some evaluation of the program, Yonglin Hope School program, and in the end, I want to implement this finding to Indonesian context if it is applicable and I have a chance in the future. So investigation and then go to evaluation using my some theory and literature review, and then in the end I want to implement these findings. Okay, this is my goals, and I will follow this through on my presentation. Follow this chart. Okay, and as my research question, I have four research questions. The first one is I want to know what is the criteria of an effective after-school program? So I think that's very important for me. Okay, this is the criteria to make sure whether this program is effective or not. And then I want to investigate and then what factors that makes this program work effectively in terms of academic and social. And then I investigate the activities, what are the activities they have in Yonglin Homeschool. And then I want to see to what extent these activities work more effective than other after-school programs. So I have some comparison in my study. And the last one, since I want to see the holistic picture of the implication of remedial teaching after-school program in Taiwan, so I want to see how do Yonglin Foundation researcher, principal, all the stakeholders integrate their role in terms of attaining the positive outcomes academically and socially. So I want to see how these stakeholders work together, integrate their roles to achieve their goals. This is my research questions. So I have 4. Okay, so my research site, as I mentioned before, is in Yonglin Homeschool. So Yonglin Homeschool is funded by Yonglin Educational Foundation, as I think all Taiwanese people know about this. And it is so for another audience. So it's started since 2007, funded by one of the biggest private company in Taiwan. And so far, since 2007, it's worked. This Yonglin Homeschool worked together with 17 universities, both private and national universities, and including NGO. As I know, it is World Vision. And then they serve in 800 classes, and then they have 1,250 tutors. They are student teachers. And then, so far, since 2007, they already serve 40,000 students, elementary school students. So this is my research site. And since it's too big for me to investigate all these Yonglin Homeschool, so I choose one of the brands, which is in CCU, in Chungcheong University. So as I mentioned earlier, I have an opportunity to do some internship. So I used to have join internship in Yonglin Homeschool for 6 months during since July to December 2015. So I did some field trip. Sorry, not field trip. Field notes. So yes, I gained a lot of information during my internship, and then I have for non-participant observation in 2 Yonglin Homeschool, in 2 Yonglin school partner nearby CCU, and then I share 65 questionnaire to teachers, and then I have a focus group interview to English and math tutor, and I interview the director of Institute for Disadvantaged Student Learning, who are Professor Kent, my advisor, and also my big informants. And also interviewed 1 school principal and 6 social workers who work now in Chungcheong University. They are working here as a staff, as a social workers. So I got a lot of information from the social workers and also from Professor Kent and this participant observation. And as a my literature review, so as I mentioned before, this literature review I use to evaluate this program. So according to Hammond and Raymer, there is 3 essential elements of quality after-school program. So the first one is infrastructure elements, and also partnership elements, and program and practice elements. So those 3 elements has 14 sub-elements. So its infrastructure elements, they focus on staff or volunteers, and class ratio, and program evaluation, and also they focus on how a qualified staff. And also in infrastructure element, they have how to ensure fiscal and